What's up, guys? I'm Austin Jonas. I own KickinPowersports.com, and today we're going to be assembling the Dirt Kicker XV40. I'm really excited about this one. It's been my best-selling bike. I've sold 400 of these-ish, 300, 400 so far, and they've been awesome. Kids love them, families love them. They're super controlled. They're great for beginners and learners. So it's a 40cc bike. Let's start making it. People are always very concerned with assembly time with this one and how hard the assembly is. Honestly, I've never had a customer have a problem with assembling it. They're super easy. It takes 30 minutes to an hour depending on who you are or what tools you have. It does come with all the tools you're gonna need. I always recommend just like, if you have a ratchet set, use your ratchets though. So it comes in foam, protects the bike, make sure your bike gets to you safe and clean, which is awesome. I love that part. That's a recent thing that we've started doing just to make sure people's bikes come in a solid piece and just stay really nice. So what we have right here, you don't want to miss this, you'll be confused. It's a bag. And what is in this bag, you have a bunch of things in it. You have a thing to hold oil, the front plate, a lot of bolts, which is important. I believe these are bolts for the plastic. You have an owner's manual and some tools in there. So make sure you get this bag so you have a really not fun time assembling it. Yeah, you're gonna want to see this. This is awesome. So this is what we're putting kids on. Like, this is what your kid's gonna be riding. This is what your kid's gonna be riding around the campsite, putting around the campfire. Don't be close to the campfire, but that'd be dangerous. Like, you know, your kid's putting around trails on this around the neighborhood, you know, having fun, riding over those dirt jumps. This is the idea. All right, so obviously we're gonna remove the bubble wrap. Don't want that on there. I think the first thing I'm gonna do on this one is gonna be the rear shock. So the rear shock is super simple. We're gonna go into the tool bag, pull out our manuals and set them over here. Take the plate. I put them all in the styrofoam so I don't lose anything, because losing stuff when you do this, you're not gonna wanna lose stuff because it's not fun. All right, so inside the bag, there's another little bag. Has a bunch of little tools in it. This is really nice, like an Allen key. You'll definitely want to use that. So inside we have this little guy. This goes on top of the gas cap, and a lot of people are asking, what is that used for? So it's to keep the thing from venting. Say like you are deciding whether or not the gas inside your bike is bad, because after a while gas can go bad, so you leave it in your bike like a month or two. Your gas might go bad, and that's really bad for the dirt bike if you leave old gas in it. So a simple way to do that to see is pull this off and smell it. If it doesn't smell good, it's probably not good, and you're gonna wanna drain the gas, which we'll probably cover in another video. You can find it on the channel. Another reason is like ventilation. If there's like a vacuum seal inside here and you can't get it unscrewed, you can pull that off and it'll get rid of the vacuum. Kind of killed two birds with one stone with this thing. Back to the rear shock. So you're gonna wanna go into the box, get this little guy. That's super important. It goes on the rear shock back here. So what we do, you come back here. You're gonna wanna lift your bike up, push that down, lift the shock up to here. See this little point right here, that's where it connects. And slide the bolt through, right, come on, right here. You have to have a little bit of finger work, a little bit of coordination. That's not too hard. You just poke it through. So on the other side, it's right there. I'm going to actually get a screwdriver and screw it, or not a screwdriver, a wrench and screw it through. Because you don't want to hit it with a hammer, that's not good. All right, so for this one, I'm pretty sure we're gonna use a 10. Yes, so we're gonna use a 10 size, a size 10 millimeter wrench or ratchet. I'm gonna use a ratchet because ratchets are just way faster, but a wrench is just fine for you. And so you're just gonna screw it until it pokes out the other side. It is poking out the other side. So now I'm gonna grab that bolt. You grab the other side of the bolt, this little nut. I'm gonna take it and I'm going to put it on and just thread it on a little bit just to make sure it fits properly, which it does, it just came off of it. All right, it's on. I'm gonna throw this a little bit more and then grab one for a wrench for that side. So this side's a 13, the other side's a 10. We're just gonna tighten it really quick. You wanna do it really tight, like not like really, really tight, like enough for it to still be able to pivot and not hurt the shot, but not loose enough to come undone. So you can decide how tight you want that to be. And if you're scared about this, I always recommend going to a dirt bike shop and they'll help you out and tell you how tight it needs to be. But I do not have any measurements as to how much torque you actually have to have on it. So right there, that's about how tight. I like it, you can't really see. That's how it's gonna be looking. All right, so the next step I usually do is handlebars. Just makes the whole process easier to have bars on the front of your case and you like lift it up and stuff. So what you're gonna need is, I believe it's a 5mm Allen key. Okay, so we just took, we forgot to film, but I just took these bolts out with the number 5 size Allen key. These are from Park Tool, I love them. They're bike ones for like mountain bikes, but they do awesome for dirt bikes. So we're gonna take the bar now and pull it around and put the bar on top of it, and you can choose the angle you want your bar at based on your kid. These handlebar or these brake levers are like at a funky angle, so don't do it based on the brake levers. I usually like to try and make this even with the fork. I think that looks really good. But today I'm not gonna worry too much about that. All right, so I'm going to take this thingy off because that just kind of gets in the way for now. And then we're going to tighten these ones down. You're going to want to tighten them down pretty good. All right, so we're going to want to tighten these down like really, really hard because if your kid goes over a bump or something or jump, like the handlebars could like move forward or something. So make sure you have them at the angle you like and then crank it down. Like just get it super tight so that your bars aren't moving, because you don't want bars moving when you're riding a dirt bike. Then I also like to do like a crisscross pattern, so like I go from like this corner to this corner. And I guess it doesn't really matter because they're not really on the same piece, but like on other dirt bikes they might be all one piece, so that's just typically something we do. And it also just brings down different sides of the bar better. All right, the bars are done. Actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab I have a dirt bike stand. If you don't have a dirt bike stand, you can just have someone else hold the front of the bike up for you while you put the front wheel on. I just prefer a dirt bike stand. They cost like 50 bucks or something from a shop. They're super cheap. They're just so nice when you have a dirt bike. So we just threw the bike on the stand. Way easier to assemble when it's on the stand. So now we're gonna take the front wheel out. We're gonna put it on. So you're gonna wanna come over here and look at this brake caliper. You just wanna like align the rotor with the brake caliper. We also have to grab out of the tools this boy. So what we have right here is the through axle with the 2 speed rings. The speed rings are gonna go on either side of the wheel just like this, like one in right there. So it'll go like through the fork, speed ring, and then tire. Slide this guy up. Oh man, this is always the hardest part. It's also a hard part of this. Put this dude in, hold it, push this up. All right, push that in, slide this up. Just wiggle it, go in. Oh, and there's also a through axle inside of it, or another speed ring inside of it. So I like to take this and like kind of push it up. So, and then I'll guide it through. So this way it can make the wheel all even and stuff. And definitely be careful, like I'm gonna be more rough than you probably should be with it just because it'll just be my model bike for a while. There we go, come on, go in. I'll grab a little hammer and tap it. There we go. So I didn't even need the hammer, you just jiggle it around until it goes in. All right, you're gonna get to like right here where it's almost poking out. You do not wanna forget the other speed ring. We're going to slide it in. Go in, please. Oh, yes. Push this boy in. And of course, if you use a hammer, be very, very gentle. Just little taps just to get it to poke through. Take the other end of it and tighten it. And again, with the rear shock, just like the rear shock, you're gonna want to thread it on and make sure it's tight when you tighten it down, but not like so tight that it's not gonna be able to spin. Because you have to have some spin, but it has to be tight enough that it's not gonna come loose, because that could be really bad for your bike. So again, if you're uncomfortable with that, take it to a bike shop and they'll help you out. All right, so for the side that screws onto the through axle, it's gonna be a 17 millimeter. And for the side that doesn't screw on, or like the side that's already just like connected to the bolt, it's a 14. So grab one side, do the other, crank it out. All right, so I'm doing it pretty tight, not too tight. Right, does it still spin? It spins kinda. So I'm gonna do it a little bit more loose. Okay. Not good. All right, that's way better. So just as long as it has a little bit of spin, your brake might be rubbing right now, which is like super normal. Usually when you ride it, the brake will figure itself out. And there's other like YouTube videos out there about how to like adjust a brake if you're having problems with it. But most of the time it's not a problem. Okay, next, plate. Let's do the plate. So what we do first is we connect the fender, actually not the plate. If you do the plate before the fender, you're gonna have to take it off and put the fender on, just because of the way the plastics are situated on this thing. Oh, look at this. Look at this. So we're gonna take pin number 5 and unscrew it. This guy right here connected to the bottom connector of the fork. Just gonna unscrew that really, really fast. Oh, sweet. So make sure not to forget the washer. The washer goes on the bolt like this. Then we're gonna slide that in. And then sometimes you have to bend this metal piece a little bit. That's normal. That just comes out of the factory in different angles. Okay, take this. And that's another nice thing about these longer Allen keys is they don't scratch the plate when you're tightening this thing down. So you check your angle, make sure it's not like too far to one side or the other, and bend this out just a little bit so it's not hitting the engine. So back here, we're not hitting the motor, or engine I mean. Up here, just tighten down really tight. You want it really tight so that it does not come loose and fall off. That wouldn't be fun. All right, next we're gonna grab this, and you unscrew both of these things right here. You need a 5 Allen key, and I believe it's a 10 millimeter wrench. Sweet, yeah, so a 10 millimeter wrench and a 5 millimeter Allen key to unscrew this guy. Okay, now we have both of these bolts off. We're gonna slide them in, and it goes down like this. So your curved edge can go along this. Push it through. Sometimes the plastics have little imperfections just coming out of the mold, which is super normal. You get that on just about any bike you bought anywhere. Then we're gonna take the bolt, and we're gonna take the Allen key on one side, bolt on the other, thread it on a little bit, and then tighten it a little bit. Take the other one, and just get them both on so you don't have stuff falling off. Okay, and now we're gonna take the 10, and with plastics, since these bolts are actually touching the plastic, you don't wanna tighten it too much, because if you tighten, you crank it down really hard, the plastic will snap. This is typical with any plastic like this. This is really high quality plastic, but don't tighten it down too much because then it'll snap. But you want to tighten it tight enough that stuff isn't gonna fall off. So use your best judgment. Center it right in the middle so it looks clean. All right, that's pretty tight, not too tight. Sweet. All right, so if you come over here and look at this, this thing, there's a big old gap right here and it kind of looks funky. That's normal. This angle is different, so what I like to do is I like to push this up and get it so that it's a little bit closer. And it's fine to look a little bit like that, whatever. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna connect the plastics, and then we're done, other than adjusting the brakes for your kid. So what we do is we take this bag of nuts and bolts. And so this part's pretty important to notice. What you do is you take, looks like they sent us an extra, sweet. You take the little rubber thing, you slide it into the bolt, and then you take a nut, and you put one on every single piece of the plastic, like all the bolt holes in the plastic for the main body. All right, that's one. We do this, grab the bolt, or the nut, I mean, sorry. Tighten this guy on really good. So we're not gonna waste your time, we're just gonna put every bolt on, and then continue the video once we're done with that. So now we got the plastics on, we did all the bolts. What we're gonna do for you now is put the brakes down. So you just kind of like pull them down like this. They should be loose. If they're not loose, loosen them by these ones right here. And it's again a 5mm wrench. You're gonna, and just tighten them down. And tighten them down pretty good, not too much, but you know, a good amount. And you're gonna want them to be even with each other, so like one brake isn't sticking up while the other one's like pushed down. You're gonna want them to look, you know, good, because you want your bike to look good. Cool. And I'm pretty sure you're done with the dirt bike. Go ahead, check over all the bolts everywhere that you just put together. Everything else should be good from the factory. After the first couple rides, you're gonna wanna tighten the back tire, which it'll say how to do that in your owner's manual. Now we can add stickers, which I'm going to add stickers. I've actually never added stickers to these bikes before. We have cool little mini dirt bike stickers just for fun. So let's figure out where these go. So this number 7 sticker, this one goes on the front plate. So make sure your front plate is nice and clean, no dust. You can grab a rag like this, kind of rub it off so there's no dust on it. And then even it, make it even with the top. You don't want to overlap on the curves. I think that's good. And press in from the center of it and go center out. Sweet, now we have a cool sticker on front. This one, so this mini dirt bike one goes down here. So these are side specific, make sure you put it on the right side. It's pretty obvious the tail is gonna go along like this. Oh man, we went a little bit uneven on that one, but that's okay. So this one goes right here, right in the middle. It'll end out. Cool, and we'll just fast forward through these next ones, just adding them on. Your bike is not done. It looks awesome. Super stoked about it. So a couple things about the first start, people always get confused. The motor should have oil in it. Check the motor. You can check down in here. There's a little dipstick for the oil. You're gonna put in 91 octane gas or higher if possible. Just the nicest gas possible. Obviously it's a little engine. It's not gonna suck up very much gas. The higher quality gas you put in it, the better it'll treat you and the more years it'll run for. So you just put gas in up here. You start it, you might have to check around here at the carburetor. Choke is down, choke off is up. There's a little bubble down here that you'll press to like, you know, run gas through and get air out. You can press that about 5 to 10 times, depending on how much air is in it. And you can see the air in the bubble. If there's not air in the bubble, you should be good. If it's not starting, you can mess around with the choke. But usually it starts first or second pull, just like, it might take a couple pulls just to get the engine, you know, to go. Then after it gets started for the first time, you're gonna have a break-in period for about 30 minutes to 2 hours. After 30 minutes to 2 hours of riding, make sure to ride it slow, under 10 miles per hour. And then you're gonna wanna drain the engine oil and put new oil in. You can buy oil at any local motor shop and just like put new oil in. Treat your bike well and it'll treat you well back. It'll last for tons of years, kids will love it. All right, good luck.